Hello, beautiful seekers, and welcome back to my body and heart Tao therapy. Here I am back with another pick a card reading for this period of uncertainty where we all could use a little bit more guidance and groundedness. So I hope to contribute with this. So here we are. The question for today that I'm bringing up is, what is the personal transformation that I'm going through? So pick a card, see whichever attracts you the most. Don't use your mind, use your gaze or your intuition to see which one attracts you. As you ask yourself this question, what is the personal transformation that I'm going through right now? As a collective, we're obviously all going through a big transformation, and I think it can be rough, but it's very much needed. And yeah, let's see where this goes on a personal level, also as a collective. But for that, I guess we will just have to wait and see. All right, so this is pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. I will start now with pile number 1. Okay. So pile number 1, these are your cards. Okay, so we have the Queen of Cups that seem to wanted to show up. We have a rise. Interesting. And I see the colors in these two are very similar. Do you see? I hope you can see. The blue and the white. Wow. Okay. We have the Five of Swords, the Seven of Cups, the Page of Cups, the Seven of Wands, and the Six of Wands. It's a very interesting spread. Okay. Whatever. All right. So I feel like the Queen of Cups is at the core of your reading somehow, because she wanted to just show up first. And it's also tightly connected with this Rise Oracle that you got from the Rumi Oracle. Oh, by the way, the decks that I'm using are the Tarot Waite, the Rider Waite deck, the Crowley, and the Heindel. And this is the Rumi Oracle. All right, pile number 1. Let's see what's going on in here. So Queen of Cups as an archetype, she talks about being present with feelings and mastering those feelings. She's the queen, she's the queen of her suit, right? Like, she's able to reflect. She is very empathetic. She can be a great counselor, and she can intuitively understand and feel almost other people's emotions. She also needs a lot of time to recharge. Otherwise, she can become really moody, because she can take in a lot of the emotional charge from other people. So, well, this period for you seems to be a period of reflection, and see what looks back at you from that mirror of water. What do you see reflected back at you? This is self-reflection. It's not about anyone else. See, in this card, I don't know how well you can see this. So there's the queen is on her throne. She's surrounded in this cocoon. There's a bird, which I forgot what it is. It's familiar, but now I can't remember. It's not a flamenco, but it's something else. One of those water birds, and there's water lily here. And what stands out for me is that the water is so clear and so calm that it shows a perfect reflection of what's above the water. The reality is, if you want, you know. So I think this is a great time for you to really look at your reality for what it is, to develop that observer mind and see what's your inner reality as well, and how does it match the outer reality that you're experiencing. They're tightly connected. Sometimes we think that there's separation. Usually, if we go deeper, we realize that there is no separation. I think Alan Watts has a lot of really good talks about like portraying very clearly how in and out are actually the same thing. They're two sides of the same coin. You know, there is no in without out and no out without in. There is no black without white and no white without black, no light, no shadow, that kind of stuff, you know. But he does explain it much deeper into how we perceive ourselves as separate, and how everything outside of ourselves is still us. It's poetic, really. So if you feel the call, look him up, Alan Watts. I'm sure you heard of him, and maybe listen to one of those talks that talk about this separation and the self. The main thing that's going on here, though, is standing up for yourself. How do you deal in conflicts? How do you tend to your inner child, and how do you connect to your emotional side? Your subconscious mind as well. You see these two cards here. The Five of Swords is called Defeat, and the Seven of Cups is called Illusions of Success. I think that you really need to look now, like this whole reflection is about your perception, because this is Swords energy, and this is Cups, this is emotional. Perceptions, like Swords, have to do with the mind, and Seven of Cups have to do with emotions. How do you perceive defeat? What does it mean to you? Where do you find yourself defeated? And just examine those stories with this calmness of mind that you seem to be able to master right now. Actually, more like emotional ability to connect. And with the Seven of Cups, well, sevens generally talk about taking stock of your emotions in this case, and see where have you been lying to yourself. This illusion of success and defeat, they go very interestingly together. Maybe the way you are defeating the purpose of your own personal growth, working with your shadow side, working with your inner child, working with your boundaries, being able to recognize yourself and allow yourself to be seen by others and recognized as well. Being able to show up in healthy ways in all those aspects. I think that you're defeating that purpose by giving yourself the illusion that you mastered it. You know, when we think that this is it. I'm I'm awakened now. I've done all the personal growth that was needed. Now I'm it. I don't know, whatever that is, whatever that means to you. You are it, don't get me wrong. We all are it, as long as we silence the mind and connect to the universe in that sense. In the sense that we understand that we're not separate. That makes me not separate from you, and you're not separate from me and anyone else into the out there into the world, including the people that annoy the shit out of you, or the people that do the worst of the worst, but also the saints of the saints. So it's very important to not get into that arrogance that um, I can't be any of that. When I'm just playing out the high moral ground and saying that everyone else is doing such horrendous stuff, and the people are doing, I mean, it's happening. There are people that act very irrational. There are people that act only from hatred and from fear in horrible ways. But don't think for a second that you are separate. We hold all within ourselves, and we have the potential to be the best of ourselves and the worst of ourselves. We all need to keep doing personal work. Yes, we're taking off layer by layer of conditioning and fear-based behaviors, and it's amazing. You need to recognize your growth and your work, and you need to have these moments of reflection to see what is your inner reality. Where is it that you're having illusions of success? And how is that defeating the purpose of your personal growth? How do you stand in your own way, if that makes sense to you? You know? This is kind of what you're reflecting on. And yeah, I think it's really important, this, like standing up for yourself, taking stock of your belief system. Again, it's 2 sevens here. So you're taking stock a lot. You're having this deep transformation of aligning your belief system to the reality that's both outside and inside of yourself. Okay, I'm going to read this Arise card for you. Number 13. Okay, not there. There you go. So the poem from Rumi says, wings of hope languish from lack of use. When wings dissipate and weaken, life begins to lose its value. Every cell in your body is created to rise to challenges. Your life is meant to confront everything that holds you captive. Don't sit at the bottom of the well not caring about salvation. Listen to the voice within calling to you. Reach for eminence beyond your own maturity. I see this Page of Cups here and the Queen of Cups. You know, Page of Cups is about the child that within ourselves, that where we can be mature, but also where we are pure and sometimes childish. And the Queen obviously is that maturity. I think you can reach for that eminence beyond your maturity. You can call into this Queen to embody this energy of the Queen in order to work with this Page of Cups. So the energy of the Page of Cups, which, as I said, can be having to do like with having messages from your subconscious mind, from your emotional side. It's some type of emotional transformation here. And yes, let's get along with the reading. So I see in you a divine wild child and sacred heart. Oh wow, beautiful. You have a gumption. What? You dare to love where others only see pain. You dare to believe that everything will somehow work out, where others see only that they judge to be wrong, what they judge to be wrong. You see love where others apply fear. You seek freedom where the world still buys into manipulation and propaganda. Don't lose heart, beloved wild child. Dare to believe. You are right to do so. It is a divine rebel in you that refuses to surrender hope. Give up the fight, perhaps, the battle that comes from a place of fear, but never give up your hope. That hope in your heart, that optimism and patience for growth into love creates a light within you that helps the world see through darkness. It becomes a candle that shimmers contentedly upon the windowsill of your heart temple. There it is, more obvious even in darkness. The stars do appear to shine brighter at night, beloved, but don't become consumed by your nightmares. They will pass with the coming dawn, you'll see. Don't give them too much stock. Instead, put your attention towards that defiant candle of hope that burns as its nature and purpose within you. Can you sense its warmth even in the presence of cold fear? It shall warm you now. And if not, then I come to you remind you, you are a blazing angel. You are filled with holy fire, and you shall prevail. You're being asked to trust, to gently lay to rest the suffering that has been, perhaps because of what you have labeled as the failure. My goodness, exactly. The defeat here. The doubts, the losses, and the setbacks. They are so little in the greater scheme of you. Put them aside, allow them to rot and become fertilizer for life, but not try to keep them alive beyond their earthly expiry date, lest you become tainted or poisoned by the rot. Let them go and instead focus on what is alive now. This oracle comes with a message for you. Arise, you have been downtrodden for long enough now. Perhaps you have been feeling defeated. Seriously, you can't make this up. So, sorry. Perhaps you've been feeling defeated, put upon, underestimated, or walked over in mind, body, or spirit by others or your own doubts and fears. Enough now. You are liberated through the hope in your heart, the defiant optimism that buoys your spirit and demands that you shall have your dawn. You shall rise like the sun and begin anew now. Step up. It is your time. It is your time, my dear. I love this reading. And to be honest, I can relate to a lot of this. So thank you so much for being here. I hope this was helpful to you. If it was, please like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned. This is part number 2. Stay tuned because the monthly readings are coming for each zodiac sign. I'm gonna start putting them up soon. So yeah, see you soon. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. Here we are. Let's see what the message is for you. So we have the Queen of Swords, the Nine of Wands, the Queen of Wands, 2 queens. Ooh, nice. Overflowing, 3 of Cups. Richness, 10 of Stones. Beautiful. And 3 of Swords, sorrow. And you have as an oracle card from Rumi, the card 1, which is number 6. Alright, my dear. So I see directly like these 2 are really at the core of your reading, the 9 of Wands and the 3 of Swords. Obviously, there's been a deep wound that you've been carrying for a very long time. And you see there's this Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands, like 2 aspects of your personality, I believe, that had been developing to care for the wound, but also to help you navigate life as it is. But the two queens can be quite different actually in their approach. So sometimes you may feel quite split within yourself. Maybe sometimes you feel like the Queen of Swords, which is very, cold, distant. She puts very strong boundaries. Who's very much in her mind, not so emotional. She can get engaged in a lot of projects in order to not feel lonely. She's used with a lot of alone time. But that's also her way, because the Queen of Swords, she's been through everything. She learned to be so defensive and so like cut the bullshit from day one, because she's been through everything. She's been through a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. And she basically still carries this wound. She hasn't healed it. Now, the Queen of Wands, that's the other personality that you may carry, which is very outwards, very confident, very playful, very sexual, very very passionate. Yeah, very passionate, inspiring. And sometimes you can like go back and forth from being like super close and cold and distant to being this very outwards, very extroverted, passionate person. You're not one, not none of them. You're not one or the other. You are both. They're just personas that come up to help you cope. Sometimes we feel more like this, sometimes we feel more like that. These are like, they are archetypes. They're archetypes that you channel, you use in order to not feel your sorrow and your pain. Well, it's not necessarily that you don't feel, but it's like they are they are both queens, so they are still functioning from the drive of the heart. They can nurture. They're not the most nurturing of the queens. This one can be a little bit of a worry. Actually, they're both quite warriors queens. But I think this period of massive transformation that we're all going through, what you're being asked to do is to allow these queens to rest a little bit and come out of the character in a sense, and use all that energy and all that presence to really be present with the sorrow and the wound, where you've been over defensive, where have you shut the door to the world because you've been hurt deeply at some point, maybe very early, and then in early childhood, and then the world seemed to just confirm that sorrow again and again and again, and perpetuate it one way or another within you. Or maybe you just like, when do you get you turn cold to the world, or when are you forgetting you even have any of that wound, and you're just like going out there conquering the world. It's perfectly fine. I mean, like, these queens are fantastic and they have amazing qualities, but I think you're really being called to tend to this wounded warrior, to tend to the part of you that's been carrying the sorrow. This is swords energy, though. The Three of Swords is perceived as heartache, but it's really energy of the mind. And the number 3 in itself is also energy of the mind. And so that is very important, I believe, because yes, we carry this deep old pain. And see this guy here, it's also like his bandages on his head. That's where the wound is. It is something in your belief system, an internalized belief that has something to do with your worth. How you shutting yourself down somewhere, something. I want to pull out a clarifier for this, and I'm gonna. What's the Three of Swords here? What's this internalized belief? One more. I knew she would have to come up. I felt her presence. These queens, I mean, wow. I think that this internalized belief somehow has to do with feeling like paralyzed. You feel like you can't move forward from that wound. You feel like there is no way you can heal that type of trauma that you have endured. It may be something very serious, or it may be something that just left that deep mark, where you just, maybe you've been in freeze mode for a very long time. But with the Queen of Cups showing up as well, is exactly the queen that I think is needed right now. You definitely have the capacity right now to embody this Queen of Cups, who's very nurturing, who's very empathetic, very kind, very aware of the emotions of other people, and being able to offer herself loving kindness and real care. And I think that's what you need right now. You need real care. You need to care for yourself and give yourself the best space to self-nurture. And if you have people in your life that can be part of this, I don't know, whether physically in your space right now or online or whatever, make use of that. The Three of Cups generally talks about connection and loving connection, people that are there for you, a support network, emotionally supportive. And it's overflowing here. So I think that you can ask for help if you need it. These three queens, especially these two, they're quite, they can have the tendency to just take it solo, to be like, yeah, I can deal with everything all by myself, especially the Queen of Swords. So maybe that had been in your character and is, but I think it's perfectly fine for you to learn to co-regulate with other people as well. We are wired for connection, no matter how much we want to go solo. And it's perfectly fine to work alone if that's what you want, or work on yourself alone, or take space and things like this. But don't self-isolate, especially when we carry these deep wounds, and when you trap that sorrow within yourself. A moment you need a lot of loving kindness and awareness. This can also be somebody in your life, somebody that can mirror this energy back at you, somebody who's very nurturing and caring. So if there is somebody like this in your life, do come out. Otherwise, just use the network that you have as the best you can, and maybe just to show that they care and have a talk about the trivial stuff. It doesn't matter, as long as you allow yourself some connection. And with the 10 of stones here, which means richness, you definitely you're very abundant in this period. I don't know if it's necessarily monetary, saying like you have a lot of resources, physical resources. I feel though that there is abundance in your life. Even with these crazy times, somehow you have what is needed right now. You have the experience that is needed. Like there's a lot of experience here. Like you've done a lot of work to have these three queens here. But with this also being a nine, the nine of wands is like that spiritual evolution. It needs to go to the 10, where there's the overwhelm and everything, and then there's the breakthrough. These queens are very developed characters. There's mastery in here, but sometimes we need to go back to, as I said, to let go of any character and just embody presence, just presence. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna read this one card. Okay, so the poem from Rumi says, "You have abolished duality from myself." No, I have abolished duality from myself. I have seen the two worlds as one. One I seek, one I know. One I see, and one I call. Interesting, that thing with the duality, because that's exactly what I felt here. And initially, this duality of your personality, if that's the case, I don't know. Like molten gold poured from the furnace of divine love into a one-of-a-kind mold, you are created uniquely and divine essence. You are both the lover and the beloved. There is no aspect of your life separate from your spiritual journey, and there is no aspect of you that is not of divine origin. So then, why the frowning, the fear, or the questioning? Let me share a sublime secret with you. Let me whisper it in your heart. There is nothing to fear. All is unfolding according to the divine genius, and there is a sweet shift in store for you, no matter how dire circumstances might appear to be or despairing you may feel. And with this pandemic, of course, we all can feel all that. So, and it's very interesting that this shows up, sorry. So no matter how dire circumstances may appear to be or despairing you may feel, a resolution will be granted. This will happen. That is because the divine seeks wholeness of the one. That means anything and every part of existence, and that includes you and all aspects of your being and life. All these people. So every part of you, wait, what? Sorry, I need to read that back. So that is because the divine seeks wholeness of the one. That means anything and every part of existence, and that includes you and all aspects of your being and life, is claimed by the divine. Your return to the divine is demanded, every part of you, every life circumstance. The divine keeps rigorous, flawless accounts. Therefore, nothing shall be left unaccounted for, not even that which seems to be outside divine attention and grace at this moment, which is that pain and sorrow over there. That things that keeps you frozen. You must remember that you are a living heart, the dweller at the center between heaven and earth, star and soil, light and dark. If you cannot summon the joy to rise up and meet the divine beloved, fear not. That cunning lover lies deep within the depths, waiting to gather you into sacred embrace as you descend into darkness. Either through flying or falling, you shall be caught and tangled up in divine embrace. So fear not. Cast aside worry and concern. Know that you are thoroughly itemized on the divine ledger, and not one moment of your struggle or suffering shall miss the hawk-like gaze of the ever-attentive and heavenly beloved. This oracle comes to with particular guidance. There is a friction or conflict within you or your life right now, a sense perhaps of being pulled in more than one direction and confusion because of this. You are questioning which path to take, this or that. What if you choose this path and turn out the other would have been better? Your mind is scurrying. There is no other word for it. Backwards and forward it goes, trying to settle upon the truth. The truth you seek is this: you shall be. You shall manifest your destiny as the corn grows into the oak tree. You cannot be other than what you are, and as you accept this, life responds. It breathes, relaxes around you so that what you need can come to you more easily. It finds you drawn to the need in you that is natural and inviting and not a cause for anxiety or distress. The need leads to satiety. What is desired and what fulfills that desire is one. They are lovers that come to each other naturally, even through darkness and confusion, drawn to each other, following the natural course of the universe to become one. If there is any part of you struggling to surrender the conflict between old and new, between what has been and what needs to be, between the passion and duty, creativity and rationality, she's very creative, she's very rational, between this role or identity, then know this: even the conflict serves. Don't choose either one and believe it is the answer. Sometimes the sacrifice is not one or the other, but the idea that it can be only one or the other. At another level, a level of divine resolution, there is beyond the apparent polarity and conflict a third way, the rising up to where there is only one perfection taking place constantly. Open your heart, you'll find the bridge to understanding and trusting that imperfection there where it has always been and will always be. Don't worry, at least happening exactly as it should. This oracle brings you particular guidance. Another one? Yeah. There is a resolution and a perfect coming together of elements in your life that might have seemed disparate or in conflict. Something you have been trying to integrate is so very nearly ready to click into place. Perform the sacred honoring ritual and stay with your process. The coherence, the integration, the balance and coming together you seek is in your horizon, approaching you swiftly now. Okay, I will read the honoring ritual. It says, place your hands at your heart and say aloud, Rumi, who loves me without condition, I gaze into my heart and you are there. I gaze into your heart and I see my own face. We are one. This oneness is contagious. May it swiftly affect every aspect of my inner world so that my outer existence aligns gently with perfect harmony with the great divine beloved. You and I are one with the perfection of divinity unfolding now and always through grace and my own free will, so be it. When you are ready, place your hands in prayer position and bow your head in reverence and recognition to the one divine plan unfolding. Say, I surrender into the one truth of divine perfection, which includes my own divine destiny now. Through mercy and grace, so be it. When you are ready, simply close your eyes and bow your head again. Then you have completed your ritual. Do this ritual only if you feel like. I know a lot of people could have resistance to that, but if it's something that you resonate with, definitely go for it. Thank you so much for being here, pile number 2. I really hope that this message was helpful. If it was, please like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned. The monthly messages for each zodiac sign are gonna come soon for April. So yeah, I wish you all the best in your process. May our practice benefit all beings. Bye. High pile number 3. Let's see what we have for you here. Let's clear out the space a bit. I feel that the first readings were quite strongly connected actually. interestingly enough. All right. So what we have for you, we have the Four of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, Justice, Three of Swords, Six of Cups, and Nine of Swords. And you have Victory of Mariam as the Oracle card. Okay. Yeah, very different vibe in this reading. Okay, so there had been pain recently in your life, and you came to the conclusion that you need to move on. And you're doing it. You're moving away. You're moving away from cruelty, and you're moving away from pain of some sort. There's mourning being involved in this. Of course, when we leave something behind, we stayed there for a reason. That was our reality for a long time. Even if it was cruel. Even if I was cruel in that reality, sometimes the darkest parts of ourselves show up in certain circumstances with certain people, and we can't even recognize ourselves. We can become cruel as well. But that's the moment we realize it's time to move on. And I think that there's divine justice happening here. You may have been in a abusive relationship. If that is the case, I have all my compassion and for you, and I'm sending you lots of loving energy and support. It's horrible. Or you might have been in some cruelty was involved one way or another, in one direction or another. If you had cruel behaviors, I think you're finally moving away from that. But it seems to be more the case that cruelty was happening against you. You do seem to find the stability, the financial stability to move on. So if you're finding yourself in a marriage, for example, justice could be also the making a breaking of contracts. So maybe you're finally stable enough to financially and physically, I don't know, maybe you finally have the support that you need to move away, to be able to stand on your own feet. And see what's coming here. There's happiness, my love. There's happiness that it feels like there's that promise of happiness. And there's two sixes. Six also comes as in that growth path when we come out of the self in a way, and probably this is the reason why you manage to move forward and coming somehow into service. I mean, we can use the mourning, we can use the whatever we experienced, however horrible that is. First of all, to learn to empower yourself to grow out of there, but also you can share your experience when you feel ready to, and inspire or many other people that maybe are going through the same experience and experiencing cruelty, and they just don't know how to get out of there. They feel powerless and helpless. So the fact that you are able to make it, the fact that you are able to let go of that perception. It's not just the perception. It's like sometimes we are powerless, we sometimes it just happens like this, that some people abuse their power over us. But it seems that you're being victorious here. You're coming out of there, and that gives inspiration to other people as well, that it is possible. There's divine justice happening here. And I think you have a lot of clarity of mind now. Allow yourself to mourn what had been lost, but more importantly, allow yourself to also celebrate your moving forward. This is a great, great, great achievement. It's a victory. I'll read this card for you now. 41. So is the end of the journey, this journey. Alright, so the poem from Rumi says, if you are longing to caress the moon, don't turn away from it. If you are not ill, why do you crawl under a blanket or to hide? If you are in a quarry of sweets, why do you look so sour? You live in the spring of life, why are you withered inside? Don't fight against yourself, don't flee from what could be your glory. Like a fearless moth, dive into the flame. Why be linked to your obsessions? Burn out in the flames until your heart and soul are enlightened. Get out of the old carcass and form yourself a new body. Why are you afraid of a fox when you descend from lions? Why be a lame ass when you have the strength of stallions? The beloved you seek will arrive to open the door to your fortune. For love is the key that opens all your locks. This oracle brings you a message of affirmation and success. Your victory is already assured. You are being led into it now, no matter if you believe it is not possible and you are placing more faith in the appearance of distraction or obstacle than in utter success. No matter if you have forgotten for a moment that the divine lives in you, and that apparent failure is only a part of the process, the plan through which learning happens, serving the ultimate holy victory. Yes, your victory is inevitable. So you are being given this reminder from the Holy Mother Mary, also called Miriam, and the beloved divine presence of love that she serves. It is that presence that is real. It is the Holy Mother that is real. It is the divine in you that is real, and all swirls around you so your soul can play. This oracle brings you guidance and comfort. Whatever is going on in your life right now, whether it brings you joy or deepest struggle, is the divine in you as you breaking through into your life. Do not hesitate to trust in it. Embrace it fully and let it have its way. There is nothing there that needs to be resisted. You are safe to be wild, to be alive. Live it with love and let it unfold. The promise of success is yours, so allow yourself to be brought to it through the guiding wisdom of life, the life that serves love. There is also a part of you that is daring to love, to live, and to trust more so than before. You are even daring to quit the traumatic tendency to relive so many past hurts and aches. These ones, my dear. You are even daring to quit the traumatic tendency to relive so many past hurts and aches. You no longer, sorry, I don't know what's with this reading now. You no longer want to taunt yourself with failure and critique. You are less frightened to yourself. No, you are less frightened of yourself. So you do not need to sabotage yourself anymore. You are learning love's way and claiming it as your own. That is your path to victory assured. This oracle asks you to trust in your growing optimism, to let the war be over now and put it behind you, even if it means weeping with sweet sorrow and relief for a while. The sunset is golden. The struggle is behind you. Now just rest and enjoy the golden glow as you rest with love and a long while. Sorry, I will read that again. Now just rest and enjoy the golden glow as you rest with love a long while. Beautiful. I think that, yeah, this is it. You finally see the way out of all that traumatic past, and also the tendency to relieve it. And that comes with sixes. I told you it's about love, it's about kindness, it's about sharing, and it's about service. Maybe this is your escape is service. The struggle is behind you. Now you just rest, enjoy the golden glow as you rest with love a long while. All right, my darling. I hope this makes sense to you. If it does, please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, stay tuned in. I'm gonna make the readings soon for April for each zodiac sign. So yeah, stay tuned. May our practice benefit all beings. Bye. Hello, pile number 4. This is where, well, I just put it here for now. Let's see what we have for you. Hope you're well. The world. Wow, quite a transformation. 2 of Wands and 10 of Cups. Will you look at that? What did you eat? All right, so you have the Princess of Cups, the 6 of Swords, and the Princess of Wands. All right. And here you have the Celestial Rose of Ma. It's very root chakra energy. We'll get to that. So my dear pile number 4, I see that you're making some choices here. You're about to make a huge choice, actually. In the midst of all this insanity, maybe you finally your passion starts coming out yourself, and you start like asking yourself, what is it that really matters for me? What is of utter importance in my life? What makes my soul sing? What makes me feel like I can, like, ride the inner wave? And you're allowing that to bring you joy and happiness somehow. And for that to happen, there's a chapter in your life that needs to end. And 6 of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck is about somebody moving away from a pretty messed up situation. It's they're crossing over to a different life. Here it's called science. But this is, I think, what is needed, that understanding of how to move forward, that understanding of how to let go, how to end this chapter, whatever this chapter was about. With the Daughter of Cups here, the Princess of Cups, there's 2 princesses, by the way, so there's some immaturity that we can speak of. So maybe what the chapter that needs to end here, it may have to do with exactly that, allowing yourself to act on a whim, being maybe sometimes irresponsible, or acting very childish. It's good. The world is about graduation, ending a chapter when you learned your lesson. It's something that when a pattern occurs again and again and again, when you learn your lesson, well, there's this, like, it's like a door being created, and you pass through, and you don't need to repeat that circle again. Graduation. It may have to do a lot with emotional instability. Maybe you're learning to really work with your emotions, and you somehow choose. Happiness is a choice, and I know that this had been taken a little bit too lightly, and people that are too much into this whole new age spiritual bypassing world, to be honest, create a story that we are somehow guilty for our sorrows and pain, and that we are I don't know, having low vibration, therefore we experience all this horrible stuff or things like this. That's not where I'm coming from. So I'm bringing that up because, when people say happiness is a choice, somehow it implies that I'm choosing to not be happy consciously somehow, and it's my fault that I'm unhappy. I don't see it that way, not at all. When I say happiness is a choice, because it's like, I feel like you see, you have here the earth in your hand. You found what is it that is working for you. You've learned the lesson. Now you can choose to step through this gate. The gate is present for you right now. You can choose to step through this gate and connect to that energy of joy within you. We all carry that within ourselves. In Buddhism, is in Tibetan Buddhism especially, they talk about this basic goodness, and the fact that at the core of our being, what is natural within ourselves, is compassion, loving kindness. The way we're being wired, actually. We are wired for connection. We are wired for compassion. That's how we are able to survive as a community and as a tribe or whatever. That's how we survived as a species. That's how we grew. Yeah. So that's the choice that you're making. I think you're choosing how you use the skills that you've learned to work with your emotions and allow this some serenity to take over. Do you know that the prayer for serenity, the serenity prayer, whatever, they use it a lot actually in AA or NA. So I think they popularized it more. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it, but I will just say it because I feel like it's almost like a mantra that can be incredibly helpful. So deep for me. It was very important when I bumped into it. And the Serenity Prayer says, God, but you can replace that with whatever is relevant to you. You can say universe, source, whatever, higher self. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to tell the difference. I think you have that wisdom right now, and you have the science. You know how to do it, and every moment it's a choice between doing something that I used to do that is not working anymore and repeating that pattern again and again and again, or doing something a little bit different, whatever that is. And sometimes just connecting to that deep wave of passion and love and joy that we carry within ourselves. That joy that is irrelevant to what's happening outside of ourselves, or the sorrows of the pains of our human experience. There is that deep joy that comes from an awakened heart. I think you're getting access to that awakened heart. Okay, I read this Celestial Rose of Ma, number 10. It's beautiful reading. Para number 4. All right, let's see what this says. So the poem from Rumi says, "The taste of bitterness becomes sweetness in love. The searching in the dark finds the light of faith revealed in love. Love transforms thistles into jasmine. Love layers heaven and gifts us with wings to soar into its mystery. Love transforms our every thought into a desire of the heart. Oh, love, how divine is your luring. Beauty flows from your unseen face. Your very nature is radiant with joy. You manifest vibrant hues in every flower. Your touch dazzles all creation. Every particle is attracted towards you, longing to unite and dwell in you." Rumi. Oh, that's beautiful. So, spiritual gifts is on its way to you. The celestial rose of the Divine Mother is a precious offering of sacred love to the soul. That love can lift you beyond what you have known, beyond, that's the word, beyond self-imposing limits by the uplifting fragrance of grace. You will begin to think thoughts you have never dared think before. You will feel moved by life, by its sacredness, in a way hitherto elusive to you. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, sorry. You will feel ecstasy without apparent cause, and you will feel as though every breath is a seductive caress of the heavenly lover. That's that happiness of this 10 of Cups that I'm talking about. You will open and surrendered in a way you have longed to be, but in a way you've never known quite how to go about. The spiritual gift signifies the ending of a period of suffering and the opening up to a time of new opportunity, a flourishing and thriving release of your unique soul fragrance into the world. It is a gift worth having. So then the sticking point is not the value of the gift. The sticking point, the place where one can stumble and place hands to the ground to break a fold rather than open them to receive, is the thorn. The thorn is the point of pain. It is what tears at you, but it is essential for you to receive the rose. Your thorn may be the love you need to let go of now, so you are open to your present rather than your haunted past. Your thorn may be the fear that if you grow too vibrant and embrace the magnificence of your being, others will shun out of jealousy, of fear, and leave you alone. Your thorn may be a constant need to bargain with life, that you shall take one step provided certain unwanted events don't take place, rather than just accepting it and living it as presented to you. Your thorn may be looking deep within the heart and removing a crown of thorns, representative of your suffering over a long, long time, letting it go, allowing the heart to heal. This with a sense of virginal purity to emanate from the heart, realizing that even great suffering has not tarnished its radiance, but only allowed it to grow strong. Your ready for love heart can now be free from expectation and instead be open to life with curiosity and reverence. Oh, those thorns! They have served their purpose, not in and of themselves, but rather that they have proven you worthy of the rose and ready now to receive its beauty, healing, and grace. Whatever your thorns have been, be willing to deal with them, to face them, and most importantly, to release them without any shade of doubt, shame, guilt, or recrimination, beloved. They have served, and now their purpose has been completed. The celestial rose of Ma promises a gift worth so much more than any pain you are holding on to. So release to receive now. Can you sense the dew soft petals and the fragrance opening to you now? Beautiful, beautiful. So yes, I think that you can end that chapter that included a lot of pain, and you can definitely receive this beautiful gift of the opening of the heart. I hope this reading makes sense to you. If it does, if you resonate, please like, share, subscribe. And yeah, stay tuned. I'm gonna start doing the readings for April for the zodiac signs. So yeah, may our practice benefit all beings. Thank you so much for being here. Bye bye.